The year 2011 set to be full of political activities than any other year in this decade, ranging from the general elections to the various court cases that follow the elections. Our end-of-year report tonight, our senior political correspondent Deji Bademosi gives a recap of some major events that took place on the political scene this year.
If there's one thing that makes 2011 stand out in the country's democratic history, it is the general election that ushered in the present administration. On the spotlight was this man, Professor Tahiru Jega, who was saddled with the responsibility of giving the country a breath of fresh air.
We believe that we are now ready for the elections.
Professor Jega made that statement 10 days before the commencement of the first set of elections, that of the National Assembly. But on the 2nd of April, when the election should have taken place, delays in the supply of election materials by vendors put a halt to the process. INEC was compelled to call off the election on the same day it was supposed to be taking place.
It is great to this nation. No, they postponed that thing. It was not on Saturday. Again today. Some call for things. So the best thing for us to do is, if they're not ready, they should do something. The time they feel that they're ready, they should let us know.
Yes, a lot of people are disappointed by the postponement or the shift in dates. But I think it's important that we all realize that it's more like starting afresh. And rather shift the date than do something that is wishy-washy.
On April 9th, the National Assembly election took place. Relatively, it was a success and passed on peacefully, but the focus of attention was on the presidential election, which would take place on the 16th. Even though 5 presidential candidates were in the running, it was essentially a 2-horse race between incumbent President Goodluck Jonathan of the PDP and one-time military head of state, retired General Muhammadu Buhari of the CPC. On election day, Nigerians trooped out to the over 120,000 polling units across the country to elect a new president. When the final results came in, it became clear that the PDP's Goodluck Jonathan had won it.
The general conclusion is that the election of 2011 was, by every standard, far and better than all the previous elections. But it wasn't as if it was an election that was not flawed.
It was the one election that divided Nigeria along ethnic and religious lines more than any other election in the history of this country. That is the honest truth.
It was not tribal or religious lines. If you look at the president, people actually voted for him en masse in the southwest. Everybody was for him. It was not religious, it was not, certainly not tribal.
We have qualified engineers.
Not long after the 2011 general election, attention shifted to the National Assembly, all for one reason: the election of principal officers of the House. The hierarchy of the PDP zoned the position of Speaker of the House of Representatives to the southwest. While such arrangement and directive from the party was respected by members in the past, this time the members chose to ignore the party's directive by electing this man, the new Speaker. Aminu Tambuwal went head-to-head with the choice of the party for Speaker and defeated her overwhelmingly.
In the first place, you have to ask this question: why should the party decide who leads the House or who leads the Senate? In the real sense of it, it shouldn't be like that. You see it? So the issue of directing members of the House to say that this is a person that should be your leader shouldn't have arisen in the first place.
So there was no way, with the disunity within the party, within the PDP, there was no way that anybody could have emerged Speaker without our endorsement.
As the year wound down, another controversial political scenario played out in the president's home state of Bayelsa. The governor of the state, Timipre Silva, who is seeking a second term as governor under the platform of PDP in election scheduled for next February, was sensationally disqualified from taking part in the party's governorship primaries. The PDP did not publicly disclose the reason for his disqualification, and up till this moment, the issue is still generating lots of reactions.
If it is a party that took that decision, I'm saying the party members were not given the opportunity. There is the people that will determine that, because you have already formulated the electoral process through which your governors emerge in their primaries. You have the electoral law. I mean, your own law, internal law that governs emergence of governors in the primary election. Now, did you follow that to the letter? That is the problem.
But when you look at it generally speaking, you know, if I am a governor of a state and the president is from my state, truly speaking, I will do whatever it is practically possible to win his support. Not to do that was an error of judgment from the governor.
In all, analysts say 2011 was a mixed year for politics in Nigeria. Deji Bademasi, Channels Television News.